You're living in Austin right now, but you've gotten to the point in your career and in your life where you're tired of looking at your neighbors all day, every day from your back porch. You want the ability to build a house on a little piece of land, not have too much to maintain, but also have the ability to walk out in the morning, enjoy your coffee without having to tell your neighbor hi over the fence. That's what Henly, Texas is all about, and that's what this acre-and-a-half lot on Beauchamp is all about. You're within an hour of downtown, you're within an hour of the airport, so if you still need to go into the office, you can, but you can telecommute right from your back porch every day. All right, so as we start taking a look at this lot that I've got over here in Henly, Texas, just want to talk a little bit about the location first. First of all, this road right here, the road that it's on, is a dead end. It cul-de-sacs down there about a quarter mile. So this is definitely not a through road. Quiet, large lots, everything out here, similar acreage, and just you know that you're in a slower pace of life out here. Really nice, and you'll see as we drive by, if any cars actually drive by. It's about 9:30 in the morning. If any cars drive by, I'll let you know, but definitely quiet out here. So taking a look at the lot, what I'm going to do in this video is take you through, show you a little bit about the lot, show you the type of trees and things like that that you can expect out here. If you're not familiar with building or living out in this area, I'm going to try to give you an idea of what that's all about. So normally out here, we're going to see trees like this one right here. This is a live oak behind me, and you're going to have your cedars over here. Now, live oaks, there's a bunch of different types of them. Out here, the vast majority of them are going to be what's called an escarpment live oak. They're not real big, but this lot is actually really unique, and a couple of the lots around here in a different type of oak that they have over here. Now, this tree here, it's a cedar tree, mountain juniper is what they're called, all over the place. I personally don't really like them for a lot of reasons, but when you get a big tree that'll provide some shade, you know, you can do some stuff with it. It's not just that silly little undergrowth cedar tree. And there's a couple of little cedar trees that are small ones popping up here, but the landowner's about to have the place shredded again and take, you know, get those under control. You know, they're pretty easy to knock down when they're small, and then you can keep them under control like that. But a couple of the other trees that I'm going to point out that you don't see a lot around here. First of all, this large one right here, when you come onto the lot, this is a cedar elm. Very typical in and around Austin, but this far west, they are not that prevalent, and one of the reasons they're not is because there's typically a lot less topsoil and a lot less moisture. So knowing that you've got cedar elms out here, and I'll show you this other tree in a second that tells me the same thing, that says that you've got some topsoil here. And when you look, the grass on this lot is thick. This is native grass. It's about knee high right now. And you go down and take a look at the dirt here on the little path that they've got for the road, and you can tell that this is topsoil. This is black dirt in here. Again, that doesn't exist a whole lot out here in the hill country. When you find patches of it, you know, it makes life a little bit easier in terms of having a yard and things like that. And sustaining some actual grass. Look at this place. This is definitely not what my lot looks like. I don't have anywhere near this much grass. This is beautiful. You would not have to have a yard here in the front of your house if you didn't want one. Heck, you wouldn't have to have a yard in the back of your house if you didn't want one. You just mow this down a couple times a year, makes maintenance really, really easy. Now, there are still rocks out here. This is the hill country, so you can see you got limestone rocks. All right, that's not going to go away, but what I'm pointing out is that the ground is not absolutely covered in them. Okay, as we are working around over here again, large cedar tree there, a couple of large cedar trees, and this is kind of what people do out here, and it helps. So you can tell the neighbors over here. And so along the boundaries, they'll keep these cedar trees for a little bit of privacy. They do allow a lot of privacy because they are evergreen. So that's really where I think, you know, you get your use out of cedar trees. Now, we're going to get into this grove of oak trees right here, and you can tell they're not huge because, again, this is western side of Austin, not quite as much rain out here, but I'm going to come in and show you these leaves because this is not a live oak tree. Okay, these leaves are quite a bit bigger. You can tell they've got big lobes. These are post oak trees. Post oak is kind of famous in Texas for making barbecue. Okay, this is what your big ones, Franklin's Barbecue, Black's Barbecue, Kreitz's, and all the major ones, Truth Barbecue, they use post oaks. So that's what this is. Now, post oaks typically are going to be east of Austin, where they get more rain, a little bit sandier soil and things like that. But they do grow here, just not quite as large. So post oaks are great for, they produce acorns for the deer and stuff like that. But they're also great shade trees when they grow up. And that's the majority of what's on this lot. That's what's left on here. Really, really unique, really, really cool. Now you can see there is a road coming down, and now as we get down off the top, okay, up here you've got a lot more of that black soil as we're coming down, and the road, it's been worn and you've got some erosion taking place, and you can start to see the rock in here, and right there, that little shelf around that cedar tree, you've got rock out here. So you do have the ability to use that rock for landscaping. But one of the cool things about this lot is just how it's set up. So as we're looking here, the road is back up over here, and this drops down about 5 or 6 feet to this level. You've got a perfect level for building here. The road here can come in, a little side swing garage. You might have to take out 2 or 3 trees in here, maybe 4 or 5, but not that many. But then your backyard is going to be nothing but oak trees here. And that's, man, it faces east. So right now we are facing into the sun. We're facing east. This is the morning sun. Okay, so what does that tell you? In the winter, or I'm sorry, in the summer, the front of your house is facing west. The back porch is going to be shaded in the afternoon. This is the ideal orientation for a house here in Texas, at least this part of Texas. You do not want the back of your house facing west at all. And this one's facing east. You get all that bright sun in the morning, have your morning coffee on the back porch, get that little dose of sunshine. But in the evening, in the afternoon, it's shaded. You don't have to worry about that sun beating down on you. If you have a swimming pool, your house is tall enough, you can get that swimming pool shaded as well because it's on the back side of the house. Really, really great setup here. And you can tell just as we start walking in that these trees now are giving us a ton of shade. This one here is a live oak. I'll show you the difference in the leaves. See how these leaves are a lot smaller and they don't have those big lobes, right? These are live oaks. These are a lot more prevalent out here. And there have been studies, live oak trees can drop the temperature 20 degrees in the shade. 20 degrees difference. So we've been having 100, 105, 108 degree temperatures. Now all of a sudden we're talking under 90 under the shade of these big old oak trees. So that's what's key here in Texas. Now, another really great feature of this lot is you've already got electric on site. You've got about a 700 square foot shop on site. You've got roll-up door, got a walk-in door. There's also, you notice we've got gutters up here. So there's also rainwater collection that's currently being harvested. Walk around here to the back, show you the tank. Got a tank on site. If you need to add more, you can add more. These tanks are really easy to add onto. But inside of here, you've got a full filtration system. It is a mechanical filter and also UV filter. So you are 100% ready to go from a water perspective. If you want to do rainwater on your house, I personally have whole house rainwater on my house. It's amazing. All you have to do then is build your house, pipe your water underneath from your gutters, expand your rainwater tank to, as big as you need it. I think I've got about 29,000 gallons. Your filtration system is already in place. The filtration system that's there will handle a whole house. So water's already taken care of. You can dig a well out here, that's fine. Your well's probably gonna have to be 700 to 800 feet deep. More than likely gonna run you $25,000 to $30,000 right now, maybe even a little bit more. But you have the ability right now to go with whole house rainwater, and you don't have to put that well in. Now, as we keep coming back off the lot, notice that the front of the lot is higher and everything slopes to the back. Okay, that's going to give you some peekaboo views. If you wanted off the back of your porch back there to trim out more of these oak trees, you can see through here we've got some views back here to the east. They're not huge views, but they are views, and it's a hell of a lot better than looking at your neighbor. I can guarantee that. Keep rolling back here, and we've got a lot of the grasses. There's a lot of blue stems and sedges, got a lot of wildflowers. Right now we've got Mexican hats out there, just about done. Mexican hats here. Still have some thistles that are still going, but Again, as you get further back here, the soil gets deeper again. And you're not having to worry about mowing rocks necessarily. Again, there are some rocks here, but that soil gets deeper, so you've got the ability to handle some pretty good grass back here. Wildlife, if you're a wildlife fan, I drove up, there were 3 deer eating here. There are turkey back here. Obviously you've got all of your birds. You're going to have fox, raccoons, armadillos. You're going to have skunks. I actually think skunks are beautiful. I love to watch them, especially when they have babies. But, you're going to have the full array of Texas wildlife back here. A couple other trees I'm going to point out. This one's really small, but this is a native persimmon. This does actually produce a persimmon fruit. It's about the size, a little bit smaller than a golf ball, about the size of a quarter. And again, wildlife love that as well. They taste good. Got a lot of seeds in them, so you kind of got to work around the seeds, but they taste really good as well. And then you've also got agarita, which is this native bush right here. Now they're kind of like a holly. If you touch them, they're pointy and they'll stick you. But an agarita puts out, it's an agarita berry, and it's small. It's about the size of a pea. But again, tastes really, really good. The songbirds love them. The fox love them. When an agarita bush blooms and puts on berries, you would have to fight off the wildlife to get to them. But if you can get enough of them, there's a lot of people that make agarita jelly and stuff like that. Really, really good. All right, rolling down here, you can tell now this terrain is getting a little bit deeper, a little steeper. And I'm going down, there's a dry creek on the back of this property. That's why you can get those views over the top and why the lot continues to slope down as we go. A little bit more grown up back here. The owner wanted to keep it a little more private, for animals and wildlife. If you clear all of your trees and underbrush and vegetation and just have a pristine yard, you're going to lose a lot of the deer sighting and stuff like that. And the deer and we've got porcupines too, and again fox and everything else. So they like a little bit of cover. They feel more comfortable. You can still see them when you're sitting on your back porch. And now notice as we're coming back down here, we're probably 20 feet to 25 feet below where we were on the road. Now you're starting to see that big limestone ledge. And if you go through the hill country and you see these ledges in there on the top of the hill, if that's the first thing you see, that's because all of that topsoil that we saw from here back to the road has been worn off. So seeing how low this ledge is down here and how much topsoil is above it from here to the road gives you an idea that you've got some pretty good deep soil. And that's again why we were talking about those post oaks and those cedar elms up front. All right, coming back, so here is the back of the lot. There's a fence here on the back, but it kind of levels out here, and just on the other side of this fence is that wet weather creek. When we do have rain, you can sit down here, hear the creek running. It's really nice, really pretty. And again, it's a little bit of a flat spot here. You could have a little bit of, if you wanted to put some hammocks up, throw up a little yoga deck or something like that, or even just a patio to come back here in a fire pit, away from the house, just to be able to get away from the house, be quiet and dark. This would be a great, great spot for it. And then back here along this creek, again, the trees are going to change back a little bit. This is another cedar elm over us. And I believe, I'm not 100% sure, I've got to check this oak tree, but I believe that's a water oak. Haven't seen one in a long time, but I'll show you the difference in those leaves as we come up back by it. So if you look up at these leaves, you can tell they're not deeply lobed like that post oak, but they're also not pointy like a live oak. I am pretty sure that that's a water oak, or it could be a pin oak. If anybody knows and you can tell me, let me know. I'd love to know, because it's you can tell this is kind of a thing of mine. I love to know about trees and wildlife and all of that stuff. I kind of geek out on it. But anyway, that's just about it for the video, guys. Just want to remind you how great the location is here. You are less than an hour to the airport. You are less than an hour to downtown Austin. You're about 20 minutes to Dripping Springs, about 20 minutes to Johnson City and Blanco. You could even go to the San Antonio airport in about an hour. It's not quite as busy of an airport. You could be down on the Riverwalk in San Antonio in about an hour and 20 minutes. Just an amazing location out here. This is the Texas Hill Country. This is why people move out here. It's quiet, got a breeze blowing. You don't have all that radiant heat from the city. And in this case, you've already got some of your utilities in place. You got a place to park your boat, park your car, park your RV if it's a small RV. If you want to get out, take a look at this lot, let me know. Just give me a call, 512-736-1703. Oh, one of the other things that I forgot to mention. With this lot, it is fairly flat. You're not going to have a huge foundation in the back. You know, I can look at this house over here to the left, and they actually built off of this little ledge here, and they've only got about a 4-foot foundation, maybe 5 foot on the back. But if you build up in this flatter area, you might only have 2 or 3 feet exposed on the back of the house. And that's pretty rare when you're dealing with lots out here up on ridges in the hill country. So reduce construction cost as well. Minimum build size in this neighborhood is about 1,200 feet, so you don't have to build a large house if you don't want. You know, this could be a little weekend getaway. Sit out here and do your work. You know, telecommuters, great for telecommuters. If you only have to be in the office 1 day a week, 2 days a week, man, I can't imagine much of a better spot to be.